The Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Beacon, a home for those who have a passion for filmmaking and the unusual. The Haunted Hinsdale House. Those who walk there do not walk alone. Paraware, apparel for the action-seeking paranormal investigator. Dragonfly art and soul for all of your magical, metaphysical, and spiritual needs. Mystery Control, your go-to feed for science, magic, true crime, the paranormal, and so much more. Paraniagara, one of the top rated destinations in Western New York. The Black Cat Lounge is part of the Paraflix Entertainment Network. Everybody, thank you again for going and sharing your Tuesday night with us here at the Black Cat Lounge. We are the place where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. What can I tell you? It is what we do, and it's who we are. Guys, I hope you guys had a fantastic Halloween. I had a pretty good Halloween. We didn't have a lot of people stopping by, but that's okay. Why? Because it was cold, it was rainy, the wind was blowing. It was just a nasty, nasty night. For me, it was great because why? I have more candy. I have a lot more candy, and everybody that goes to any of my galleries knows that I like to throw candy at people. So I will have extra candy for what's next? Old Mill in Dundee, Michigan. So we're going to have some fun there. Guys, got a great show for you tonight. But listen, I want to just bring up a little bit of a touchy subject. A lot of people are talking about the truth behind like EVPs and all that. And, you know, the whole concept of accidental aerials and the, shielding in some of your equipment, some of the, especially like your older, like the DR60 and some of your older pieces of equipment, maybe picking up other frequencies. Guys, DM me. Let me know the experiments that you're doing, because we are working right now with Faraday pouches. We're working with, I'm actually going old school. I'm looking for an old, small microwave. And back in the day, we would get these old microwaves and we'd strip them out, and then we'd use those there. They work as Faraday cages. It really works well. So let me know. Write me. Tell me about it. What have you found? What's your criteria for a positive recording, a positive capture? Because this is something that really there's a whole lot of conjecture. A lot of people I'm getting like all these, cross messages. So it's kind of neat to be able to go and find these things. So tell me, guys, what it's all about. So anyway, got to tell you guys, got a great show. Why? Because we have two fantastic people that I get a chance to hang out with. And, and this is what I love about it, because of the fact that we get a chance to go and just chew the fat. We're going to talk shop tonight. Because why? Because this team is fabulous. Even better than fab. They're fabulous. I'm going to give them the entire word. They're effervescent to iridescent. I love them so much. So guys, tonight we have two of the very most active people in the paranormal. I swear to God, these two are all over the place. I mean, if they're not at a conference, they're out filming. If they're not out filming, they're doing talks. If they're not doing talks, they're doing their own events. They're all over the place. And we were talking off air about all the wonderful time we have as we're out and about and we're stuck everywhere. It's just the fun of it. But we were talking about the miles that we put on, and we wouldn't trade it for the world. So guys, let me just tell you something. Let me just give you a little hint. Kelly's a gifted psychic medium, and I met her. We talked about it. I can't believe it. We met almost 10 years ago. 10 years ago when she came to Buffalo at the old Statler Hilton, and there was a psychic fair. Dan Kless put on a psychic fair there, and that's where I first met her. And I thought she was really cool. I just thought she was just a cool gal, and unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to talk because of the fact that when you're at a psychic fair, you're neither here nor there. But she grew up in a haunted house. We should talk about that. And she's been interacting with spirit from a young age. Now, her counterpart in crime, her partner in crime, who I love, Chris, is a paranormal investigator, author, psychic, and shamanic practitioner, which is so cool because I've actually I've dabbled. I'm not gonna say I should not gonna say I am a shamanic practitioner, but I have dabbled, and I do know a lot of great friends who are, and we have, and I learned so much. But what I love about him is that he studies science, but he also balances it. It's like a razor's edge: science, belief. The two of them, you would think that they would not jive, but they do. They're so great together, and I love being able to go and I get a chance to talk with him because I wanted to talk to him every time I see him. We're like ships passing in the night, So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and that goes for Bill Randall, who's in the room right now. Can I bring on Chris and Kelly Neilson, Travelers Moon Paranormal? Guys, how are you? Thank you for being here tonight.
Holy crap, we got a new gold standard for introductions.
That was a hell of an introduction. I love
it. Listen. I didn't even go and I didn't even hit all the high points. These were just little things that, I feel personally that I like to go and, and share with everybody, because a lot of people really, they know you and they're so thrilled. They're so thrilled that you're on tonight. And I'm thrilled because it's so hard to get schedules. You guys.
Oh, yeah.
Man, you guys, I thought my schedule was insane. Tell me the truth. How many times a year do you have to go and buy new tires for your vehicle? Because you guys are always out there.
I've actually replaced my car tires twice in the last 6 years.
So I haven't replaced my tires yet, but I bought a brand new vehicle in March. Well, it had 4,000 miles on it, and it currently has 22,000 miles on it.
That's nothing. That's a baby vehicle. That's like my new one. That's a baby vehicle. Those are great.
Oh, we're aging it quickly though.
And that's like when we use both cars, and I still have that many miles on.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Okay. It's fine. That's what we bought it for, right?
Well, you have to. I went and I nursed my old Escape, 105,000 miles. Just couldn't be fixed anymore, and I was so thrilled that I was able to go and buy something new. And man, what a difference. And I hate to say that I'm old, but I had a DVD player in it.
Oh.
And there was no such thing as Bluetooth in that car. None. There was none of that in that car. So
these days I don't know that you can get them with a DVD player anymore. I miss it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I should say CD player. I actually do have
two CD. Yeah.
I have two. I actually do have CD players here and DVD players, but they're left over from my youth, and that was last week. Anyway, guys, let me ask you something. I want to start with you, Kel, because first of all, ladies first, and everybody loves Kelly. Chris, he's okay because he wears.
Okay.
He's okay.
He's okay, but everybody loves Kel. Kel, you know what? I got to ask you about being a psychic.
Yeah.
When did you first know? When did you first realize? And I mean, these are stock questions, but I want everybody to know, you for you.
And we get asked this question a lot. And the funny thing was, I guess I was doing things before I ever realized that I had abilities. Mm-hmm. So my primary ability is claircognizance. I just know things. Mm-hmm. And so my mother shares stories with me. My mom is in chat. That's Pat Kraft, Mama Pat. So she shares stories with me that, when I was a child, it was very difficult to surprise me, and just weird things like before the phone would even ring, I'm like, "Hey, Mom, Lorraine's calling," or I just thought that was normal stuff. So I didn't think a whole lot of it. It was probably middle school that I started realizing, okay, some of the things that I know, and a lot of the emotion side of things, because I'm also unfortunately an empath. That's when everything kind of started hitting, and I had to start figuring out what the hell's wrong with me. Am I crazy? Is there an explanation for this? So that's when I really started figuring out what it all meant, why I was feeling the things I did, new things I did. And I was lucky enough to be raised in a house where they didn't tell me I was crazy, which was great. So it was probably about that time that I started going, okay, well, I'm curious, what can I do with this? What does this mean? How does this play into who I am? And just really started developing my skills probably from that point, just practicing it. But man, I stayed in the broom closet probably until my early 20s, just because it wasn't really super well accepted yet.
You know, I can relate up to a certain point. I mean, I was, with me, 1972, I was about 9 years old. That's when I first started. But then I had relatives that were spiritualists.
Mhm.
So it was a lot easier that way, but I still was kind of like quiet until I got outed in the newspaper back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that's always an interesting thing, you know. So have you ever had, are you a natural medium, or did you have some training to kind of get you into shape?
I would say that I'm a natural medium, because it came whether I wanted it or not. I didn't honestly embrace being a medium right at first, because I very much wanted, like, I didn't want to be one where spirits were talking to me all the time and that I couldn't shut it off. So I fought it, honestly, for quite a while. So I guess that makes it natural if it was coming whether I wanted it or not. But I did still then train. I think that with great gifts come great responsibilities. That sounds so stupid, but there's truth to it. You know, like, I didn't feel like it would be appropriate for me to be able to do some of the things that I can do without learning how to better manage it, not only for my own safety and sanity, but to better help other people with it.
You're right. It's 100%. You're right on mark, because you have to have some kind of training, and that's one thing that I see the difference. Because again, I know you guys, and I watch your YouTube channel, your videos on YouTube, and yes, I'm a fanboy, Chris. Okay, okay, I am a fanboy.
Oh,
But I mean, it's I can tell when somebody's disciplined and somebody's just free balling it, you know.
Yeah.
And you've got some good boundaries set up, and I know that, you know, when I watch you, I go, she's not going to get in trouble, so she's good, she's all right. So yeah, that's fantastic, Chris. Listen, I got to ask you, man. You seem like a normal guy. Well, almost normal. Let's
I aspire to at least look like it.
Yeah, just a little normal. By the way, everybody loves the mustache now. You know, just let you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Like,
Yeah, this is not winning me any points here, but I like that.
Hey, you enjoy it while you can, because you'll end up like me soon enough.
I know it.
Get the St. Anthony's crown back there. That's where it starts. But let me ask you this. I mean, were you always into the paranormal as a young guy, or is it something that just kind of just developed as you went along, or did this beautiful young lady sitting next to you force you kicking and screaming into the field?
Dragged him by his long hair during the days.
Oh, it's true. Hair like down to here back in the day, and now I'm counting the days left with this. No, so it's very much a environment I grew up in. So to this day, you know, all these travels, my grandparents' house was one of the most active places I had ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's because of, I mean, it did have kind of a long, interesting history to it. But I think it was a lot about how we interacted with them. I grew up in one of the many houses I grew up in. This particular one, the weird stuff wasn't scary. That corner's not scary, but if you take the dogs through there, they get really skittish. Or
Walk past that hallway. Yep.
if grandma's wind chimes start going off and it's not a windy day, they're just saying hi. It's not this like terrifying, ominous thing. And had my first experience when I was about 8 years old. I saw a little boy on the stairs that obviously wasn't there, or it wouldn't have left such an impact. But yeah, just very much snowballed over the years. I was about 15 years old. I just through a local library's clearing out sale, got my hands on a stack of old Hans Holzer books.
Oh my God,
Um,
yes.
and that's kind of what kicked it off. And I'm going to date myself as the young one in the room. This is also about the same time that like Ghost Hunters was taken off. Um, and, yeah, just kind of very much snowballed. If you had asked me when I like first, picked up that stack of books, if it's something I would actually be, doing at this phase in life, I probably wouldn't have thought so. But no, it's been a good time.
It's quite a ride. It's quite a ride. Let me ask you this now. There's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of I can't even think of the proper word for it, but people are arguing that the paranormal is devoid of religion, yet the paranormal is probably more spiritual than most religions. How does that affect you guys? How did that, were you guys brought up like I was brought up, I wasn't brought up Roman Catholic. I went to a Roman Catholic parochial school. And during the summers, I spent time in the Lilydale Spiritual Assembly. So actually,
I love it.
Listen, I got the best of both worlds.
It's balance is what it is.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what it was. It was balance. So how did that affect you guys? Were you guys brought up in religious homes, or and you kind of found a different way to get in and out of out of the spiritual realm, or did you guys just kind of like, did you bring you? Well, I know, Chris, you just said you were brought up kind of where neither one of you were really oppressed when it came to your religious beliefs. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's like that the paranormal is already spiritual?
Yeah. So for my home, I was raised by a Catholic and a Lutheran. And while it wasn't like religion wasn't a super huge thing, I mean, there was always that knowledge of that religion in the background. I guess for me, I've never really thought that you have to pick one or the other. I think in the grand scheme of things, when people are talking about their different religions, regardless of what they're talking, we're all talking about the same thing. We just have different names for it, different ways that we address what it is that we're talking about.
Exactly.
So like, I try to be very respectful when we have someone walk up and go, if you think you're talking to a ghost, it's a demon, and I'm like, I do understand that your upbringing. I would love to have the opportunity to explain to you some of the wonderful people that I have encountered that are no longer in their flesh, that I have, I had the opportunity to get to know, but I also know that they're entitled to their opinions. So I don't think that it has to be one or the other. And I know at least when I'm doing my presentations or when I'm talking to people, I can tell them what I believe, what I feel, but I always try to make sure that I preface this with, this is my truth. This is my understanding of the situation. I'm not trying to convince you. Perfect.
Yep. And I think what we do is in the paranormal, we're not leading, we're not kind of like trying to convince anybody. It's just like, if let's see where it settles with you. Let's see how it kind of works within you. But yeah, I've had the demon mongers come up quite a few times.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, brother, probably. So, I'm just going to when I go, I'm going to make sure I have a couple sandwiches for the way down, because it's going to be a long slide. But
and the people who've come up, like when you're doing the psychic work and they're like, oh, you're doing the devil's work. It's like, okay, if I can bring as much healing as I do to people doing the devil's work, I guess sign me up then. So,
exactly.
We can, I've seen the good.
And you know what, when you look across the board, when we all look, the three of us look across the board, it's almost all the same. The divinity of Christ comes into a little bit of conjecture, a little problem, but everything else is just about the same across the board. So to me, it just means that we're still doing the right thing. We're just calling it different things, and we're actually proactive. We're actually getting out there and trying to get our hands dirty where a lot of people won't. Now, hey, Chris, I got to ask you, brother. You're like you are like an anomaly. And the reason why
I think it feels like a compliment. I'll take it.
it is. And I'm using that word as a positive thing with you because it's funny because you are sensitive. You do work in different fields, yet you've got more of like a scientific background. How do you balance those two?
Honestly, I feel like it kind of balances. Like balance is very much something that for me just fortunately happens organically. I spend large swaths of time like I'll catch myself. I'm like, oh, I'm going way out into the east to get myself grounded, or I have times where I'm just way too detail oriented and I'm too hyper fixated on proving something to allow that, I don't know, I guess belief to occur. So for me, it's not something I guess actively do. And at the end of the day, I feel like they are very much, it's expressions of the same thing.
I agree.
At the end of the day, I'm, my beliefs are still the same.
Right.
It's what part of that am I choosing to express at that time?
I think it's important because I see too much of a division. I see too many people one way or the other, and they're not blending at all, which is okay, but if you want to really be successful like the two of you are, and yes, Kelly, you're both successful. You're both very successful in what you're doing.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it has to be a positive, it has to be a blend of science and belief. And the problem comes in is where you don't have an equal amount of each, where you're kind of one side or the other. And that's something that a lot of people have brought up to me and said, well, we don't want a psychic on our team because of the fact that, you're going to influence it in a non scientific or a non-logical way. And you think to yourself, wait a minute, what would you guys say to a team that would say, listen, guys, we love you. We don't want you because basically we're afraid that you'll influence everybody in a non-scientific way.
I would say if you're really that steadfast in the idea of logic, you wouldn't believe in ghosts in the first place.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna play this back and I'm gonna write that down because that's the quote of the night. That's the quote of the night, guys. That's great. We have Chris and Kelly Neilson on tonight, and they are Travelers Moon, and they are all over the place. I love them to death, and I'm gonna tell you what, they are a treat to listen to when you get a chance to see them, and they're when they're speaking, but they're even more of a treat when you get a chance to see them live, and you can go up and hang out with them. And Chris does a little Scottish dancing, and he dances on two swords, and that's the way it works. But anyway, guys, let me ask you this: out of all the places that you've been, and I mean, you guys have been all over. I'm going to ask you the one place that you kind of thought to yourself, wow, did that just happen?
Oh, that's easy.
We got it.
It used to be we had to stop and think about this, and we may both have different stories. That's not the case anymore.
Really?
So we were at the Fairfield. I know I saw Dan's comment. Hi, Dan. I love you. So we were at the Fairfield County Infirmary a year ago, August, and it is the first time in our 45 plus cumulative years that we left the building and had the honest conversation of, let's just leave our equipment. We will try to get back in tomorrow to get it.
Wow. Tell me what happened, because, there's only been one time, and I've been doing this even within the spiritualist circles, the, spirit rescue circles and stuff, which is pretty much paranormal investigating in a spiritualist way. So I mean, we're going back about 35 years. I've only been chased out where I felt I had to leave once, and I got to tell you what, it took me a while to kind of go back into that place.
Mhm.
So tell me about that, because that's really interesting. And I mean, the two of you guys, listen, I don't know about Chris, but we do know Kelly is fearless.
Most of the time. Chris is too.
I'm actually pretty timid. I'm a very skittish creature. Very jumpy. It's counterintuitive to, like, people outside of the realm of what we do to understand that. But I am like a little jumpy.
Oh yeah, a little jumpy is putting it mildly. Yeah, he's very, very jumpy. But
well, in order to find out, you'll have to read the book.
Hey, no. Wait. Talk about the book. Before we go on,
yes.
Talk about the book.
So actually we can do both at the same time. So the book is about that investigation. And like Kelly said, it was at the Fairfield County Infirmary in Lancaster, Ohio. And
it was just Chris and I.
Yeah.
It was my Christmas present. We got to go in and do an investigation, and it was in August. It started out just really weird. Like, there's so many little tiny things now that we look back at it. It's like, okay, there's that and that. Are we sure this is all coincidence? But like, we hadn't even gotten into the building, and we were hearing music outside the building. But
oh, that's awesome.
I
now
mean,
that's Adam Kimmel owns that. Correct?
Adam Kimmel.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's Adam
because
Kimmel's
that's on my bucket list, and I promised him
Oh.
I promised him that I would go, and in 2026 I would go there. So now you know what's going to happen. I have to buy your book so that I know what to expect before I go in.
If nothing else, it's available in the infirmary.
Yeah.
It's in their like little gift shop area.
Perfect. But tell what now. Let me ask you this. Now, you guys left all your gear. Why? What happened? What led up to? What was the crescendo that you guys said, okay, you know what? I think we'll just leave everything till it gets light out.
It started out really cool. Like, we decided we were going to go down into the morgue section of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Which this building has a fascinating, like, German level efficiency of death to the basement. So the doctor's office is here, the morgue is here, the chapel's here, and it's all right next to the back door. So, like, you get sick, you die, you have your visitation, and you're gone.
Yeah. But we go down and we start setting up our equipment, and we hadn't even gotten done setting up. We'd set out a pararem.
Mm-hmm.
And while we were still setting up, it starts going off. And
Wow.
we're like, oh, okay, hello, beep, and it's like.
And this is the thing, like, if what happened next was the only thing that happened, it go down in my books as one of the coolest investigations I've ever had. For 1 hour and 6 minutes, we had a 1 for yes, 2 for no conversation.
Real time.
Wow,
that's amazing.
Expecting interference at one point and being like, hey, can you just shut the hell up for 2 minutes?
Just don't do anything, because I'm starting to think it's just randomly going off, and coincidentally it's when we're asking questions. I'm like, so like 2 minutes, absolutely nothing. Dead silence. And I'm like, amazing. Are you still there? Beep. It's like, okay. It was amazing. It was the coolest thing.
But then, like, something showed up, and
the room started getting really thick, and like, you could feel
barometric pressure.
Sounds so absolutely stupid, but it felt like it just started kind of the room closing in, and things were getting thicker, and it was harder to breathe. And I found myself scooting more towards the edge of my chair, and I kind of eventually look over at Chris, and I'm like, so do you? He says, feel that? And it's like, yeah.
And it's weird because I'm trying not to give away the whole farm here, but throughout probably the next 45 minutes, it was this crazy, intense pressurization of the room. And me sitting close to the door, I'm feeling these slow, steady bursts of, like, it feels like statically charged cold air. And it's August. Like, the main theme of the book is there was crack sweat the entire time. and just these slow bursts of cold air that in the book I end up having the realization it's got this slow, steady tempo of breathing.
Wow.
And
It's almost as if the location became alive.
yes,
We talk about that.
and that's kind of where the prevailing theme is, because I've been investigating with Kelly for
A decade
12,
or better,
13 years. And in her, experiences, it's always he, she, they, like human pronouns. And I started realizing that not once is she referred to it as that. She keeps using the word it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Um,
And when he pointed it out, and I like started to try to feel it out, thinking, well, you're just trying to hide. You're just hiding. You're trying to scare us. You don't want us to know that if you're male or female. I dug. It was not male or female.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you guys this. Okay, I've been in situations where you're getting average stuff. It starts to build. It starts to build. It starts to build. At what point do you say, okay, you know what? Discretion is the better part of valor. And I've been, again,
Yeah.
I've been at that point at Old Fort Niagara when I was a docent there and things were going on. At what point do you say, okay, I have had it? Because now it was just the two of you in a building. It was the same thing that happened to me. I was just me in a building. And I just thought, I should really need to, I think it's time to go. At what point do you guys say, okay, let's pop this and go?
so there was, I think, that kind of growing sense that we need to, so to get a better kind of layout here, where we're at in the morgue area, there is the area, because it also doubled as the like food storage. So there's this room with a big trough, cooler doors, and then there's a little vestibule area with a floor with a fair amount of flex, which is not a great adjective for a floor. And then you go into the rest of the building. So we very much felt like we were trapped in there. So it was more about waiting for an opportunity to take a step aside, because at the end of the day, like I'm not ready to get too messed up over this. I'm completely okay stepping outside for a little bit and taking a break. That's the best way to prevent a fight, is just not getting warm in the first place.
Exactly.
And it had kind of been like where this energy was coming in. We were feeling it. The spirit that we'd been talking to was scared of it as well. And we said, okay, enough. We stopped talking about it. It kind of started backing off when we started the what the hell, and it started moving back in. And we're like, nope, just stop talking. And once we knew, basically, it got to a point where we felt like it was at least safe enough for us to get up and get out of there. So we started gathering up our stuff. And we weren't, at that point, I don't know that we were even thinking we were going to leave the building. We were just going to get out of the morgue. But we stepped out to start picking up our equipment. And there was a couple series of events, and I'm not sure how much he wants to give away.
I'm feeling chatty, so I could probably give it all away, but I don't know if that's wise. So the interactions we were having with the spirit, who we come to find, like his name, Kelly's getting the name Edward.
That was the nice one, not the one trying to scare us.
Throughout our chats with him, he's showing anxiousness, and I'm trying to kind of meet him where he's at. Like, hey, there's something out there and it doesn't feel good. But look what's happening right now. You are having this is the most I've ever seen anybody interact with my equipment ever. That's a power you have that he doesn't.
Right.
And somewhere along the line, we had established that whatever this thing was didn't like the light.
So he had turned the light on out in the room outside of the one we were in. He wanted a barrier between us and whatever this was. So we turned that light on.
But as soon as we thought we were good to move, I won't go into a ton of detail. I'll give it a little bit away. It took the lights from us.
Wow.
And it was at the very same moment that I came across a very tangible personal attack not like physically on us, but like it knew exactly where to hit me to bug me the most, and that's to
Right.
attack my person.
Right.
And there was something very physical that I'm like, this is not okay. This is not okay. I'm flipping done. I'm out. I'm done. And that's when it decided to pull its power move, and we left.
See, a lot of times, what I have found in working in many of the places that I've wandered through is that it's looking for a chink in your armor.
Mm-hmm.
And if it can go, and I mean, I don't have to explain to you guys, but for the people watching in, spiritualists believe thoughts are things. Thus, if thoughts are things, things are vibrational in nature.
Mhm.
So if they can go and they can pick up on that one little tiny chink in your armor, they're going to go and they're going to exploit it.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of people, when you're sitting there, it's like, oh well, I can take that. And it's a whole different story when you're sitting there and you can feel it and it's starting and you can understand it. And now that little bit of fear turns into, or that little chink turns into a little bit of fear, and it starts to build within you, and
Yeah.
that anxiety starts to raise. So sometimes you're right. You have to take that step back. Do you think that it is something there that is organic to the location, or do you think that it has come in from the outside world?
So yeah, at the end of the book, I very much touch on this idea that places, it's that old term, genius loci, the spirit of a place,
Right.
And I think in the actual uh, verbiage of that, it's an actual prevailing spirit of a place. It's something that's there.
Correct.
Typically, it's like a
Yes.
protector.
Yes.
I kind of reworked it, and it's basically this concept that give it enough time, give it enough stimulus, give it enough energy, a place can become its own entity.
I agree 100%. Hinsdale House in the
Mhm.
southern tier, Dan Kless's place,
Yeah.
that is the typical example of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and and I think in most cases that's not necessarily a bad thing. But we're
Mhm.
talking about a place with, constructed in 1828, almost 200 years of, pain, neglect. The recent addition of people going in there with the sensational high energy,
Exactly.
expectations.
Bringing in their egos, bringing in their beliefs that everything is evil, just adding fuel to the fire of whatever this is that wants to scare people, that wants to cause fear.
Do you think that people that go in there, now, you guys are top-notch investigators. I can say that without even stuttering, guys, because I know you guys are top-notch. I know you guys are ethical, and ethical is something within each of us. But do you believe that some people go in there with the wrong intention, like they're going in for a thrill ride, and they leave it's like the old Dracula movie. Please come in and leave a little of yourself behind,
Mhm.
Do you think that people do that the energy is there, that they're kind of just looking for that thrill, and sometimes the structure wants to give it to you?
I think 100% that can be the case. People want to go in to be scared. A perfect example of that, we were just out at the Stanley Hotel a few weeks ago. And granted, you can't really investigate it because it's full of people
Mhm.
all the time. But
Right,
there was this set of young girls that's what they were doing. They were purposely walking around scaring themselves because that's what they wanted to do. And nothing was happening. They'd see a door of one of the haunted rooms and scream like banshees and run down the hallway,
Which, to a certain degree, is it's fine. There's a reason October time the haunted attractions exist. That's something we
Exactly.
like to do to ourselves as
Yeah.
creatures. That's why we made horror movies. We, get off on that little adrenal bump and.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, to be fair,
I agree.
we have
I
some of
agree.
that excitement going into these places too.
Oh, yeah.
I talk about that a little bit in the book. Most of the time when we pull up to a location, I'm like a giddy little schoolgirl. And it's so bad. The first time I ever went to Penhurst, I'm walking around Penhurst like, this is so cool. I'm like, this is some of the worst torture in the history of the state, but this is so cool. You know, it's like
This is where they pulled out the teeth.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you shouldn't.
Ghost Hunter is a little bit of a personality disorder.
Yeah, but like, so bringing that excitement, bringing that desire to kind of experience thing. I mean, we even said it just this last weekend at the event we're at. Hey, you have permission to scare us. It's Halloween. Go ahead, give us a jump scare for once. You know.
Exactly. Well, you know, my theory is this. You know, I'm one of these people that believe that energy lies dormant. And now I went and pulled, because you know how I am at events. I'm never at my table. I'm always talking to everybody. I'm trying to go and I'm trying to get as much knowledge into the square head, you know, that I can possibly get in. And I talked to like Chip Coffey and Richard Estop and a bunch of other people about the possibility of something lying dormant at a location. Like it could be, you know, sorrowful, it could be anger. And I know when you were working with parasitical spirits, when we're working with something that is out there trying to go and poke the devil, basically trying to either scare us, or they're trying to, you know, it's trying to absorb these peak energy flows when we're angry or we're upset. And everybody says the same thing. Everybody says the same thing. It lies dormant. It's possible that it can lie dormant. Something can lie dormant until you get the right person at the right time with the right energy makeup, you know, and all of a sudden it just blows up. It just blows up. And I think to myself, some of the cases that I've worked, there's no reason. Nothing happened before and nothing happened after. So why? And then we start looking at 20, 30 years down the line. Boom. Now we get something again. Now, what is it? You know? So do you guys think that this energy is dormant? Do you guys think that maybe if you get the right combination of people at a location, it'll explode? It's like almost like battlefields. It works on the same principle.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And we've talked about this so many times. Like, what was it about that night? What was it that made that perfect combination for that experience to happen that night? Because we've thought, everybody keeps asking us, are you going to go back? Well, yes, we're going to go back because I need to go back. I have to go back.
You have to.
In reality, I don't expect it to happen again. Even if we tried to go same time of the year, just the two of us, tried to hit this. I mean,
like order the same food for dinner, make it as close to a repeatable thing as possible.
There's no guarantee that it's going to happen again, because something about the energy that night made that happen. And I don't know why. And
then you got to think about, like, if we are, you know, dealing with something with a intelligence, and do address it in the book several times. This was a very cerebral thing. Like half of the events we haven't even like talked about, but this was, you know, just one of the most hyper intelligent things ever. Like, I keep going back to the word cinematic. Yeah. Because like if I were to write a fiction like book,
right,
that's wouldn't be exactly like this, but there's a lot of things that I would definitely incorporate.
Yeah, because it definitely didn't stop just when we left the building. There were so many things we found out after the fact. So sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, like, if we are dealing with something that intelligent, I don't know. Even if we duplicate this perfectly and the weather conditions are exactly the same, if I wanted to screw with somebody looking for maybe a sense of closure, you know what I would do? I would just shut the hell up for the night.
Yep.
I agree. And I can tell you we did something similar. Well, we did a recreation at Mansfield Reformatory, and it was insane. It was absolutely insane. Would it happen again? You know, the one thing in paranormal is repeatability is a big question mark. And I can say that people that have done recreations, it seems like locations are there, and maybe you can trigger something residual, or maybe you can trigger a little something, but to hit those crescendos, to hit that high water mark that has got to be the ultimate goal for all of us, is try to get that repeatability. And that is what's important. That's what's amazing to us. And the two of you are just amazing anyway. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So the other thing, something else I wanted to ask you guys about. Now, when I do, you guys, when I was doing, my psychic walkthroughs for the TV thing and all that, a lot of people come up to me and they say, well, when you do your stuff, what do you do afterwards? And I said, what do you mean? And he goes, well, you do this psychic walkthrough and you this and that, and you get diarrhea of the mouth and, you say what it is. I said, well, I get the best part because I go back to the hotel room and I'm asleep. But what happens when you're out on the road and you're actually working with a team? And for me, I always ask the team leader, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to stay psychic? Do you want me to work in that capacity? Or do you want me to work as a investigator using equipment? But I'm not going to do both. I'm not going to do both. That's out of the question because of the fact that I don't want to influence one side or the other. So, Chris, you're kind of seated in a scientific methodology, which I like. Kelly, yes, you're seated in that up to a point, but you are vastly clairsentient. That's what I'm going to tell you right now, kiddo. And I mean, you get a chance to get over, to be able to really feel all of that energy that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
I got to ask you, how did the two of you mesh? Because I can tell you that most psychics who will do X week, I can walk in there and say, listen, I have got this energy field right here, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll go and investigate and nothing will happen in that area. So how do you guys kind of mesh with that?
I think we always just try to approach it that the equipment, the investigative tools are great. The psychic side is great. But if we can get both, we've just added validity to both answers. So
Right.
if I can go in, and it doesn't always happen that way. Like you said, I might go in and I say, hey, I'm sensing a middle-aged female who likes to hang out in this room. This is her personality. And we may not pick up anything on the equipment,
Right.
But if we can pick it up on the equipment too, then first off, we're adding more validity to that equipment actually does what we think it does.
Mm-hmm.
And the equipment
100%.
is backing up what I was picking up, So I think that as much as we kind of think with different brains, that's part of the reason that we work together as well as we do, because we fit together well and we complement each other well in the aspects that we can kind of back what each other is getting.
Yeah, and it's very much. I don't know why. For the way we work, it doesn't have to be one way or the other, because at the end of the day, they're both leaning into the same thing.
Exactly.
So instead of Kelly just being like, "Oh, there's a lady over here," and me taking her word for it, which after all the time we spent together, I would. For me, that is now a fantastic time and place to, I say, start taking pictures, or that is a good place to actually set up equipment to try to actually start figuring out where the two things meet. Because if they're two pieces to the same puzzle, eventually there's going to be parts that make them kind of fit together. And that's very much what our approach is, just kind of that bridge building between the intuitive investigator and the technical one. Not the biggest fan of the word scientific, just because I know the people that like throwing that term around aren't actually using the scientific method.
It's true. It is true. You're 100% right with that, Chris, because there's so many people out there that are claiming it, and parapsychology is a pseudoscience,
right?
And it falls a lot within the realm of belief, and that's the one thing that people take. They don't like when I say that, because it kind of knocks them down a peg. But I mean, what we're trying to do, basically, and you guys are doing it, is trying to go and marry the two disciplines together.
Absolutely.
And if we can get something like that, I think that we would be able to go and really start pushing the boundaries even further in what we're doing now. And Bill Randall here, Bill Randall of the USS Edson, Bay City, Michigan. which is haunted as hell.
I
And
have heard about that. Yes.
yeah, someday I'll tell you guys about the energy that went through poor Bill when we were doing a seance there. He'd like to know, what's your best piece of equipment? What do you like? What do the two of you guys like using?
God, this is going to be so anticlimactic. I am an absolute sucker for those cat toys these days.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think it depends on the location.
yeah, very
I
much
really think it
location
does.
dependent, but
Like this investigation that we were at last weekend. So we had the pleasure of being at Edinburgh Manor for both Halloween night and then hosting a public event on Saturday. Edinburgh is very much an audible location.
Mhm.
So that's going to be more things that are going to listen, things that, dowsing rods they like the dowsing rods. So, I mean, that's great there. But then there's other locations that they're just sluts for the cat toys, and
Mhm.
the Pararim has been a great tool.
yeah, that's been a fun one.
I think it just kind of depends.
Yeah, if I had to fall back on like a singular piece though, that those cat toys have really captivated my imagination because
Really
they
is
are.
crazy.
I mean, it's like pretty much anything that I kind of want, which is first of all like visually exciting, because I think sometimes I'm very prone to falling back into a dulled state of mind around 2 or 3, but to basically just be a vibration sensor. It doesn't take something like putting it inside of a Faraday cage to ensure that we're not getting any sort of outside interference. It just means knowing your surroundings. It just
Yeah.
means knowing that nobody's up walking around or that
Exactly.
nobody's talking too loud.
But yet you can double check those things really easy without having to be a scientific genius to figure it all out.
Why did you gesture at me?
Because you're so much smarter than I am. He starts talking about the equipment. I'm like, dude, you need to dumb it down so I know what you're saying. He starts talking about frequencies and I'm, but if a cat ball's going off, anybody can kind of do a little bit of testing to see is there a logical explanation for why that's going off before we say, okay, yeah, that's really interacting,
Guys, I tried to hate them. I tried to hate them in the worst way. I was like, no, absolutely not.
Right.
And here I am. I'm using EDIs. The old EDI.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got one.
The old with the geofoam in it,
Mhm.
and it's like, what's the difference?
Very similar technology.
Exactly. They work
One
on the
looks
same.
prettier.
Yeah. Well, the cat ball is prettier. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Much, much prettier. But I really tried to hate it, and because I hated it so much, and now I accept it, I have come under the epiphany that it doesn't matter what you're using.
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Because I think when I started going back into mediumship history and spiritualist history, they were just using whatever they had.
Mhm.
And I thought to myself, wow. And I remember going and thinking to myself, well, I'm just going to go and buy this brand new recorder and get nothing. And then you go and you get an old recorder and you get a lot of different things. So it's like, well, it depends what you're using. And being an old seance guy, I mean, I've got the trumpets, I've got the slates, I've got all that classic stuff. And sometimes it will go and produce results. So you have to be able to go and you have to be able to enjoy what you're doing and use it on a consistent basis.
And it can be
No,
so
100%.
simplistic. I mean, like one of the things we'll use is a piece of fishing line and a glow stick. He calls it crack and dangle,
I love it.
It literally is just a glow stick that's hanging from a fishing wire. But like we've seen him swing. We saw at the Ohio State Reformatory, we saw it lift in the air 2 feet. And like we thought somebody was screwing with us.
Yeah, like we had lights on it immediately. We're like, okay, somebody came in the room
with us. Yeah.
But yeah, and for me, that simplicity is where it becomes a lot more valid. If you have like something, akin to a K2 meter sitting out, I mean, your average person, somebody who's not in the field, is going to see lights go off and be like, okay, what's that mean? Or even worse, you have the people that are kind of into the paranormal media, but not actually into research and like, oh, that's a ghost detector. I know what that is.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of variable. There's a lot of, potential for things to get misconstrued. There is nothing misconstrued about a glow stick that should be stationary, swinging side to side. Or earlier this year, we had one hanging where I turned to look at it and like it was as if somebody had walked right in front of it.
Yeah.
Like it
Wow.
completely blocked out the light of
Amazing.
the glow stick.
Oh, it was cool.
And that to me is a lot more irrefutable than, these, rogue EMF spikes that we might get in places or
And let's face it, in all honesty, we know scientifically that cell phone towers can
oh
emit
Yep.
this frequency,
100%.
and it can travel miles, and
Right.
just not 10 miles. It can go 100 miles, more than
Mhm.
that. And it's like, and it's what they would call in the old days when you would hear something that happened 20 miles away. It works in the same principle as an acoustic echo. So you're getting these false positives. I was up
Right.
at Hinsdale one time years ago before Dan had bought it, and there was 10 of us outside because there's no power going to the place. 10 of us got K2s that pinned. And everybody's like, oh my God, this is a massive ghost thing. And it's really not. We kind of traced it back to a source, and it was a cell tower.
Yeah.
And, so I mean, you have to be able to balance that out. But I do agree. Simpler is easier. Before I let you guys go tonight, Kelly,
Yes.
how did you survive the Villisca axe murder house? Because every woman that I have talked to that has stayed there, it is oppressive for them. And guys, they cruise in, cruise out, no problem. Maybe they hear some footsteps. That's about it. But women, it's always so oppressive. So how did you survive that?
So, I avoided the house for a very long time because being the medium, I was concerned about going, and especially like I know when I go into locations, kids are drawn to me. Like kid spirits are drawn to me. So I kind of avoided it for a long time. But like the wonderful idiot that I am, the very first time we went was on the 105th anniversary of the murders. Because why not, right? It's go in with a bang.
See, I knew it. There's a reason why I like you guys.
Yeah.
We are a lot more similar than we want to admit.
So this was actually pre-Chris. So this was it was me and my mom and my son, who's a non-believer, by the way. Well, he's not a non-believer, but he's a scientist. And then a friend of ours. But the energy of the house is just gross. That's the only word to describe it. It's just a gross feeling. But I don't know that I believe that the spirits are always there. I think it's just the scar of what happened. The hard part for me when I go to Villisca, I've been there several times now, is like at the times that the murder started, it's like somebody hits play. And I get to see the whole thing play through my head. The very first time we were there, I was seeing it from one of the Stillinger girls' point of views, which was bad enough.
Right.
The second time I was there, I saw it from his point of view. And it's such a weird thing. It's such a hard question to answer because there's part of me that I'm like, I'm grateful that I've been shown what I believe to be the truth. I have no proof any more than anybody has gathered in the last 100 and however many years it's been. But I know what my truth is, what I've been shown every time. And so I'm grateful to have had that story shared with me, but it was horrific and infuriating. Like he had taken out the rest of the family and he got to the youngest and he almost left him. He was going to pass him up because he thought, he's young. He's not going to remember me. He's not going to be able to describe me to anybody. And he took a few steps past him and he said, no, they said everybody. And he turned around and he hit that kid. And that is where it doesn't matter how many times I see this, I lose it. I'm a freaking coward. That's a baby. I mean, he wasn't a baby, but
still, yes.
He was a baby. I don't care how many years old he was a baby.
It is always, it's one of those cases that has always fascinated me. And I know people that have been there. And again, that was part of why I was asking so many different people if something should become dormant, energy becomes dormant in location. Even with the Exorcist house in St. Louis, same thing, exactly same thing. Is it dormant? So it's fantastic. Guys, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, how they can buy your book, where the hell you're going, and how they can get a hold of the fabulous Chris and Kelly of, well, Travelers Moon, Paranormal. I mean, people, guys, I'm going to, before I even let them say it, this is a treat. You guys are getting a treat because these guys are on tonight, and it's so wonderful to go and really pick their brains. And you guys, you know what? If you want, send me $50. Everybody in the chat room, send me $50, and because this is like a master class in paranormal with these two. So okay, tell everybody
I love it.
Tell everybody where they can, and I'll split the money with you, by the way. But
okay, now we have a deal. Everybody, let's get on this. So yeah, you can find us anywhere online at Travelers Moon Para. So that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Our website is www.travelersmoonpara.com, which has links to all of our socials. The website's also where you can get signed copies of our books.
And there's actually 2 books. He didn't talk about it, but there is a second book called Fear and Fascination in Edinburgh Manor that Chris wrote, which is about when he locked himself in Edinburgh Manor for 5 days. So fascinating book.
So yeah, that's all the online presence physically until the end of the year. We got actually quite a few events coming up still. So this upcoming weekend, we are taking a personal weekend, but the weekend after that, and then another weekend in December, we're going to be helping out with basically like the Nauvoo, Illinois Tourism Board, doing their ghost crawl. So the weekend of the 15th, the night of the 15th of November, you can catch us at
December
Nauvoo,
6th.
Illinois. This one, I believe, is at the Grand Hotel, which if you haven't been like down into the Nauvoo area, just,
it's a cool,
amazing little historic area.
Stopped in time.
Mm-hmm.
The weekend after that, aside from doing all this stuff, Kelly is also a 5 times a year over expo host all across Iowa. So that is her Quad Cities Psychic and Paranormal Expo. December 6th, we're back down in Nauvoo. 2 days after Christmas, we're at Malvern Manor off in western Iowa. And then we're getting into 2026, which is already filling up aggressively.
And in February, we will be all doing a victory lap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
In Kansas City.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun.
At the Missouri Paracon together. I can't wait. Guys, stay on the line so I can thank you properly. But really, I got to go, and I got to thank you guys so much because I loved just chatting with you and being able just to, and talk shop, and get a really, it's so nice to be able to go and talk to 2 people that are so balanced. Well, as balanced as
long as I'm on my medication.
Yeah, well, so long as we are all on our medication and we do share, but that's another story. Guys, thank you. Just hold on. Thank you so much. I'm humbled by you guys coming
We
in.
appreciate it, truly.
Just stay on the line there, guys. Aren't they great? I mean, seriously, I really enjoyed speaking with them. And that's one of the joys of what I do. And it's one of the joys that you can do if you want to be a podcaster, vodcaster. You're able to go and you're able to speak with people with whom you respect, and you get a chance to learn from them. So that is the bottom line of why we do what we do. And we get a chance to share it with all of you. Anyway, thank you guys for stopping by. This is Tim Shaw, and we're at the Black Cat Lounge where the elite meet. Where else? Next to the dumpster transfer station. We all hang out, and I am just thrilled that you guys are all great. You guys got to stay healthy. And guys, tomorrow I go digging up tombstones. So I'm going to have a good day. Ciao, babies. Take care. Bye-bye.